right, welcome to One Nation of Sports Locker Magazine, Sports Locker Magazine Extra. Whoa, I'm starting off good. Jay, I'm going to be bringing you on real quick. You're going to have to help me out right away. I was getting tongue-tied, but you know what? That's okay because Jay, he will bring it all back to reality. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring him on. Thanks, guys, for joining us. And here he is. He's not in Colorado. He's just right in the other room. Jay Gill. Welcome.
I am in
Woo.
Missouri. I can hear your voice just right down the hall. It's making me wonder what's going on because that's a weird feeling. But I am
Yeah.
excited to be in Missouri at your house. And all I can say, One Nation, is that if Kirk is depending on me being the glue that holds this show together, we are in some serious trouble. That's all I can say.
Well, yeah, we're in trouble.
Yeah, we're in trouble. That is not my role. We've been hanging out with a pretty awesome guy behind the scenes here, and he knows that is not my role. My role is to be loud and to have some fun. So that's what I intend to do tonight. What about you, Dad?
I'm going to be quieter, but I'm going to have fun. I'm going to be
Okay,
quieter.
good. All right. So
I
One
was out running.
Nation.
I was running with you all day today. We were doing interviews. I mean, we were just getting warmed up for the rest of this week. So yes, and I
Yeah.
even got to throw you guys some softballs earlier, so you could practice your co-ed softball coming up. So
Yeah, you're not wrong. We can pause on that real quick. So, and Will, you can contain your laughter in the background, please. Thank
yes,
you very
please.
much.
Yes, please, Will.
So yeah, my wife comes to me. I don't know. This was probably like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and she's like, "Hey, do you want to play softball?" And I'm like, "No, no, I don't have any interest." Like I'm assuming one of my guy friends is hitting her up, like, and the wives are trying to get the guys together. And I'm like, "No, I don't want to play on a softball team." And she's like, "Well, it would be co-ed softball, and I would be playing with you." And I'm like, honey, are you okay? You've never played softball before. You sure you want to play softball? And she's like, I'm that desperate to get away from the kids. Yes, I want to play softball. And I'm like, hey, if I'm hanging out with you, babe, I'm all in. That sounds like an absolute blast. And so we've had some practices on Monday nights. I've missed a couple shows because of that. But we were very excited to get here into Missouri because my dad, sitting right there next to me, Mr. Kirk DeMars, is the softball master, and so he took us out
No,
on the field today.
no,
He pitched some beautiful pitches. He taught this
no.
old fat man how to swing a bat, and I'm telling you, I hit some bombs today. That was because of you, Dad. So thank you.
Well, that speaks nothing of what I did. But anyway, I was just trying to get it across the plate with all that wind. But speaking of getting it
Uh,
across the plate, we need to move on from that, and we need to move
boy,
to the guy that really gets it across the plate. Why don't you go ahead and do
hey,
an introduction to him?
Hey, I'm really glad I didn't have this guy pitching me balls today because I've seen him throw and I've watched videos. He can put some heat on it. If you guys don't know who I'm talking about an extremely talented young man. He's on the show tonight. He has truly blessed Mid Missouri. I'm talking about multi-sport athlete at Blair Oaks High School, Mr. Will Libbert. Will was featured in our March April issue of Sports Locker magazine. I'm sure my dad has that prepped and ready to go. There it is. Will has played football and baseball for Blair Oaks. In football as a linebacker, he was selected as the first team all district and first team all conference. But Will's heart belongs to baseball. In baseball, he was selected as first team all conference, first team all district, first team all state, and conference player of the year. And he got all of those first teams multiple times. That's not just 1 year. Will has committed to playing baseball for the University of Missouri, where he's going to be going this fall. So we're excited to sit down with him, talk about what he's done, talk about what he plans on doing. So without further ado, let's bring on superstar Mr. Will Libbert.
All right. How was that for an introduction, Will?
That was good. That was good.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Only
having
thing,
me on tonight, guys.
Absolutely. We're happy to have you on here. The only thing that we did not have smoke or, pyrotechnics or anything like that to introduce you, but we figured Jay with the big beard, that was enough.
Yeah.
We figured that was enough.
Yeah, that was good.
I can try to get, bam, 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 Will Libbert, bam, 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 bam. Oh yeah, I can do it. Better
No,
believe it.
let's not.
Okay, okay, all right. So first of all, Will, talk to us about this decision. You've decided to go to Mizzou. How did all of that transpire? And ultimately, what was the driving force to you becoming a Tiger?
Yeah, so I guess the recruiting process for me all started and started really picking up my sophomore summer, like right after that high school season. So I was talking to
Okay.
different coaches in different schools, kind of all across the country. I was probably talking to guys 3 to 4 nights a week. And as my junior fall came around, like right before the school year, I kind of narrowed it down to a couple options, and then ultimately picked Mizzou because I love the coaches. I really liked the pitching coach at the time, and then I just like the atmosphere of the whole place, and then how they send their pitchers on specifically to the next level. And that was a really big drawing point for me.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool that you got recruited so early on. What did you do? I'm just kind of curious, and I want my listeners to hear it too. What did you do as a pitcher or a player that attracted that attention so quickly?
Um, I'd say I just definitely performed pretty good all the time. Was kind of the main thing you can do is just be consistent, no matter how hard you throw or how good of pitches you have. Just being consistent is the biggest thing. And then aside from just actually playing the game, I sent a bunch of emails, a bunch of text messages about, hey, I'm
Cool.
pitching Thursday night at Kansas City or so and so. So that was definitely another big thing that definitely helped me the most was just sending all those emails and all those text messages and then talking on the phone a couple nights a week. So that was definitely huge for me.
Very cool. Very cool. Dad,
That
you scare me. When you pop on, I feel like you're ready to take over.
No, I
I
just
don't want
want
to
you.
interrupt you.
No, 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 no. I just want you to know that I'm always watching.
Hey, I feel that presence. I
Now,
do. I feel that presence.
now, what would freak you out is if I actually came out of this door over here and snuck up behind you, but I won't do that.
That that would have creeped me out. That actually would have been pretty funny.
No, I just
That
wanted
would
to
have been
encourage
pretty
real
funny.
quick anybody that wants to make any comments or ask any questions about Will. We would love to have you guys enter into the conversation. We'd love to have you guys on here doing that. So just wanted to
Yeah.
quickly pop in and say that and make
Yep,
Jay a
for
little
sure.
nervous. That was it.
Yeah. Oh, boy, he does that. You're about as good as the Holy Spirit when it comes to making me, a little
Okay.
nervous. Good job, Dad. You do real good. All right. So, as a multi-sport athlete, you've had success in football as well. Tell us about football and the difference between the two sports as far as training goes.
Yeah, so for football, it's more like team specific. You're always lifting with your team. You're always kind of working out, doing like football specific things, no matter what time of the year it is. But for baseball, it's kind of more, I guess, one on one, or you're kind of on your own during the off season because we don't go lift with each other like the football team does. So for me, I was doing my little throwing program thing during the winter, which helped me kind of prepare for the spring and then prepare to be able to pitch for however long the season was. And then another thing for football was kind of preparation you have. So you play one game a week, so you get to scheme your offense and your defense kind of against the other team and what weaknesses they have. But
Hmm.
for baseball, I mean, you have kind of 2 weeks of practice at the beginning of the year. But other than that, I guess for Blair Oaks anyway, we're playing 3 to 4, maybe even 5 games a week. So you have
Yeah.
less practice, but you get to play more games and you get to kind of just be able to compete. I think a little bit more in football, but definitely that Friday night makes up for the lack of games you do get to play, like according to baseball anyway. So
Yeah.
they definitely have their differences, but I think the similarity is they're both pretty competitive sports, and you get that competitive aspect out of no matter what sport you're playing too.
Yeah. So talking about that weight training regimen, did lifting, like if you're focused heavily on lifting in football, does that negatively impact baseball? Like I'm just kind of curious how you're able to balance football and baseball because they are such different sports.
Yeah, definitely. I think like other than hey, I have a start pitching tonight, I'll probably do my lifts a little bit lighter at school. I won't go as heavy. But other than that, I kind of just do the program we have set at school. And I have like out of my 4 years of doing it, I haven't seen any negative effects other than I might have been a little bit tired at practice that afternoon, but I think it definitely helps me stay strong throughout the whole year. And
Yeah.
then just being strong definitely prevents getting any injuries you might occur during the season. So that football specific workout has had little to no negative effects on my baseball career.
Cool.
So I think that's pretty awesome to see.
Yeah, cool. Going into college here and only going to be playing baseball, are you going to miss football? Are you going to miss the workouts for that?
Um, I wouldn't. I don't think I'm gonna miss those early morning practices, but I didn't end up playing football my senior year, so I've
Okay.
kind of already gotten a taste of that, and
Okay.
I definitely did miss it, especially being in the stands on Friday night. But I
Yeah.
think, yeah, I definitely will miss it, and I just missed being around all those guys and having that competitive aspect of everything. So
Yeah.
definitely gonna miss it a little bit though.
Yeah. In football, you played linebacker, is that right?
Yeah, I played linebacker, and then I was like a slot receiver on defense, or I mean on offense.
Yeah. So when you're pitching, are you hoping someone rushes the mound so you can lay out a little linebacker hit, knock them
Uh,
down real quick? Just curious.
I mean, that would be kind of cool to do, but I'm just hoping they don't carry their bat with them. That'd be a little
Yeah.
scary. I might have to run the other way on that one.
I'm just thinking they might be like, you know what? I'm gonna take that dude on, and then they're gonna be like, I shouldn't have done that. He's
That's right.
played another sport. He has.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. So talking about, I want to focus on football just a little bit more. You were linebacker. You played slot receiver. You were named first team all district, first team all conference. You had success there. What are some of your highlights of your career on the football field?
Definitely those first team all districts and the all conference was pretty awesome. Just to be able to be recognized, no matter what sport you're playing or what you're doing in life, is always pretty special to me and pretty special to see for anybody. But definitely the highlight of my career was winning state my sophomore year because we had a great group of seniors and they just pushed us every day to be better. And then I think that kind of made the whole team better, which was just awesome to see. And then I know I didn't play my senior year, but to be able to be in the stands to watch them win it at Faroe Field was pretty awesome to see. And I'm just the happiest for them guys.
That's really cool. Talk about that experience. I want to hear it from both sides. So you played on the field. Talk about the experience of having such a supportive crowd and community every Friday night. They were out there, and then I do think it's cool. You have the other aspect where you got to be a part of that community. But when you were on the field, how much did you appreciate having them there, cheering you guys on?
It was awesome. And more so than just the games, the community of Blair Oaks is awesome. It's huge. And just to be able to have those fundraisers that we have for football and have so many people come out, show their support, and donate money so they can have the facilities and the equipment they need is just outstanding. And it's just kind of a big compliment to Blair Oaks and the whole community because I think definitely without that huge community support, it'd be very hard to do. And then playing in front of that crowd, there's nothing that beats it because no matter where you're playing, if you're playing in St. Louis or Kansas City, there's going to be a bunch of green out there in the stands. And yeah, just nothing beats that. It was awesome.
That's cool. That's cool. Highlight some of the things that you most appreciate about your parents, and then all of the support and impact that they've had on your life.
Yeah, so I think like the biggest thing is how they always push me to be better, no matter what sport I was playing or what I was doing. Like even in school, they're always saying like, "Hey, you can get your grades up a little bit," and they're always pushing me to have all A's and maintain a good GPA. So I think just them always pushing me every day to be the best person and player I can be is like the biggest thing. And then they're always supporting me, come to all my games, kind of taking me home from football games and baseball games. Everything like that was just huge and definitely couldn't do anything or couldn't be where I'm at today without them.
Very cool. Very cool. Um, well, Dad, I think we're hitting time to go to a sponsorship break, and when we come back, I want to talk more about his family and his parents, and then we want to dive into baseball and the success he's had on the field there.
Yeah, absolutely. And while we're going to break here real quick, again, want to remind everybody if you have any questions or even if you just want to make comments about Will, we would be more than happy to see those and hear from you. And we'll make sure that we get that included on the program. Even if you want to just talk about old Sasquatch right there in the middle with that big beard and make any comments about that. He looks pretty awesome in there. But we're gonna just take a quick break and thank you guys so much. Will, you're doing a great job. We appreciate you being on here, and we'll be right back in just a few minutes.
CNS Business Services has been connecting employees with employers since 1977. Recently, CNS rebranded to CNS Employment Solutions to more clearly define their mission of serving the needs of applicants, employees, and businesses while remaining current and evolving with the changes in the workforce. One important thing has not changed. CNS Employment Solutions partners with a wide variety of employers, placing employees in jobs that match their skills and needs.
Say yes to CNS.
All right, Jay, we've had a great program so far. Will is an outstanding student athlete. He's made a huge impact right out there in Blair Oaks, and we know that Wardsville community is going to miss having him around. But it's really cool. He's not going to go very far. He's just going right up the highway, up 63 up there towards Columbia, and we're going to get to hear a lot about him while he's up there. So, but we appreciate CNS Business Services and everything that they do, and I just want you to just tell people why we appreciate them.
Man, we really appreciate CNS. And Dad, was that a new logo I saw for them?
It was a new logo. It was.
Dude, that logo looks awesome. CNS Business Services, they are not a new business. They've been around for over 45 years. And what I love about what they do is they help connect people with a business for a job. And so if you're someone out there and you're like, I need work, but I need flexible scheduling, or I have certain things I need, and I can't seem to find a company that's willing to work with me, CNS Business Services, that's what they do. They will get you placed with the right company, and they're just so wonderful to work with. On the flip side, if you own a business and you're like, man, I don't want to have to hire someone who can handle all the HR side of things or payroll services, they do that too. So instead of hiring a full-time employee, you can spend a third of that amount, hire on CNS Business Services, and let them take care of that for you without adding that full-time HR person on. This is what they do. They're amazing at what they do. They've been with us on our program since day one. So yeah, we absolutely love CNS Business Services. They're awesome people. They're great to work with. So don't hesitate. If you fall in those categories I just talked about, call them. Just call and have a conversation. You'll discover how great they are.
And talking about people being great at what they do, we've been talking to somebody tonight that's great at what he does, and I know he's only going to get better. So why don't we
Yep.
go ahead and bring him on in here for the second half of the program?
Perfect.
Will, man, you've done an outstanding job, not only with your high school career, but doing an outstanding job with this interview. And I know Jay's trying to crowd you out a little bit right there in the middle, but you're holding your own. You put the fear in him about being a linebacker and him wanting to rush the mound, and I mean he's not going to do it now.
Nope.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, doing a great job. All right, Jay, go ahead.
Awesome. And like Kirk has said, if you're watching the program right now and you have a comment you want to just say about Will or any questions you want to ask, don't hesitate. Kirk will throw those on the screen, and we will put Will on the spot. So uh, Will's excited for that. Trust me.
Yes, he is.
He is.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
am.
All right. So we dove in a little bit about your parents. I want to keep talking about them. How have they influenced you to be such a hard worker? Sorry about that. While also inspiring you to maintain humility and character. Because if I was as good as you, oh man, I'd be so braggadocious. You wouldn't. Oh man, people couldn't stand me. I'd be horrible to be around. But you're like such a cool guy. How did that happen?
So I think it all started from a very young age. We live on like sort of a farm. We have like 35-ish acres. So there's always stuff to be done around the house. So they always taught me from a young age that nothing is just given to you. You got to work for everything. So they were always having me like either fix fence, cut the grass, or weed eat, or just help my mom clean around the house. So just having that and then getting that work ethic installed in me from a young age is very huge to where I'm at today. And then, like on the humility side and being humble, I think they always told me just always be respectful to whoever you're around, whether that's your coaches, your teachers, your teammates, or just people in public, because you never want to burn any bridges with anybody, because you never know if they could be maybe like your boss one day, or for me, like if you're playing any sports, they could be your college coach or your high school coach even. So just to have that installed in me from a young age was very huge, and that helped me definitely get where I'm at today too.
That's that's pretty awesome. You know, I can tell. That's a farm boy right there. Oh yeah, I can tell. That's a farmer. He's got that ridiculous farmer strength. You don't get that naturally. That's by fix and fin. Amen to that, brother. I like it. I like it. That's farm strength right there.
Oh
What
yeah.
are some what are some important lessons that you're plan that you've learned from your parents and that you're going to keep taking with you as you go on to college?
I think the biggest two are just working hard and then being humble. Because every time I see my parents, they're working hard on something. Like my mom, she's always working hard. She works from home, but every time I come home early from school, she's always here working, doing her job. And that's just kind of a big inspiration to me to say, hey, I need to work harder no matter what I'm doing, whether it's school or sports. And then with the being humble, it just kind of goes back to being respectful to everybody. And
Yep.
they always told me from a young age, nobody's going to remember in 20, 25 years how many strikeouts you had or how many home runs you hit. They're going to remember the kind of person you were and the kind of teammate you were. So just to have that, I guess, always shown to me was very huge. And I can't thank them enough for what they've done.
That's awesome. And we've got a comment here from Cotton Walker. Love that, Cotton. Thank you. I always love seeing hard work pay off. Great work and accomplishments. Go Falcons and MIZ. Love that, Cotton. Thank you very much for throwing that on there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit. You have, when I was reading your article, you have a younger sibling, right? That's Wyatt?
Yeah, that's correct. He is in
Yeah.
8th grade, so he's going to be a freshman next year.
Okay. How has your younger brother helped you as a competitor and pushed you to be a better person?
Yeah, so he's always kind of been there to play catch with me or kind of just mess around with. He used to be a catcher, so he'd always catch my bullpens when I was younger. So that was always huge to have him there, so my dad didn't have to do all that. And then just recently, as he's gotten older, he went up and did like my winter throwing program with me this last winter, and having him there and just seeing how hard he works makes me want to work even harder, because I know I want to be a good role model to him so I can push him to be the best that he can be one day, because I know he can be very good at whatever he does because he's smart, he works hard, he's just a great overall kid. And I know he's going to be very good at what he does. So it's always awesome to have him around.
That's cool. I think it's pretty awesome that you've got to be a role model for him. And I've got a younger brother as well. I call him my little brother because he's like 6'8" and way bigger
Oh,
than
man.
me. And so he's my little brother, but they're special. And I'm telling you, he's my best friend. So I think it's cool you have a little brother to pour into. And I'm telling you, I learned a lot from him, so I get it. Let's
Yeah,
see
and
this. Oh, comment here. Will, a lot of young men like to grow a beard when they get out of high school. If you're going to grow a beard, would Jay's beard be your inspiration?
um, I'm not so sure I can grow one that good, but I think I get a little goatee action maybe going on if I did want to do that. But I think it would take me a couple years to
That's
get
what
one
I'm
going that
talking
good.
about. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah,
But not as much gray as what this one has.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. I just
Uh,
thought I'd have a little fun, guys. Sorry. That was the wrong
hey, I
question.
love it. I love it. That was great. That was
All
great.
right.
Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome. You
All
never
right.
know what I'm doing behind the camera, right?
Never know. So before we dive into Mizzou, I do want to talk about the baseball career you've had as a Falcon, and I know it's not quite done yet. But talk to us about baseball and why you have such a passion for this sport.
yeah. So when I was growing up, I always played multiple sports. I played basketball up until middle school. Then I decided I wasn't the best at basketball, so I just stuck to baseball and football. But after all the years, I've always known baseball's been number one. It's what I always wanted to pursue in the future if I was lucky enough to be able to go on to that next level. But I really like baseball just because of that competitive aspect of everything. I feel like I'm a very competitive person, and just to be able to go out and compete every day is pretty awesome to do. And then obviously it's a fun sport. Practices to me don't feel like work. It just feels like, hey, I'm going out and doing the thing I love. So that's definitely why I have the passion for baseball.
Man, that's awesome. I don't know if you noticed, but I got a little buddy joining me now, and
Yeah, I did notice that.
I I'm telling you, it's so great to be here in Missouri and to be hanging out with my dad. That's fun stuff right there. Um, so in baseball, you've earned first team all district, first team all conference, and first team all state. You've done that 2 straight years in a row pitching for the Falcons. And so, what do you attribute your success in that to?
Um, I would definitely say kind of the off-season schedule I go off of, because for me, baseball or the season doesn't start March 1st or the end of February. For me, it starts kind of beginning of December. That's when I get my work in. That's when I take a lot of my swings off the tee. That's when I do my little throwing program to get me and my arm kind of ready to go for all the, I guess, months of pitching I have after that. So definitely that from a personal side. And then I guess from a team side, just the teams I've had behind me and the defense. And then the offense that we've had has been incredible because I know I can go out and I can get ground balls and pop flies, and my defense is going to be there to back me up. And then I know I can go maybe give up a couple runs and I can still be able to get a win because of how good we hit. So I think just definitely the teams have been huge in my success. And yeah, overall, it's just been awesome having those kind of guys behind me and then playing with those guys too.
I think that's pretty awesome. I'd like to give you a moment. You can shout out any teammates or any coaches. If you want to give a shout out to anyone, I'll let you do that.
I think it's just everybody. I mean,
Cool.
everyone on the team. But I'll shout out the group of seniors we have this year who I've grown up playing with forever. So we have Aiden Beckman, who's our main third baseman. He's just been incredible over there. He was all district last year. Just to have that defense is awesome. Then we have Holden Brand. He started as shortstop, but now he's our everyday right fielder. So I know for him that was a little bit of an adjustment, but to see how he's grown and been able to do that's awesome. And then just the bat he brings is definitely his biggest factor. And we have Tyler Doman, who's our second baseman a lot of the time, and he's over there just making plays and then just being a good teammate in the dugout. So that's definitely awesome to see. And then we have Chase Sneers, who's definitely a deal, but once you get to know him, he's definitely an awesome guy. He's one of our main pitchers for the team, and just to have him go out there and then compete is just very awesome to see. So definitely pretty cool.
I want
Very
to
cool.
ask a quick question here. As far as other positions that you play, I mean, I know you mostly pitch, but do you play any other positions at all?
Yeah, my sophomore year, I played more outfield after I was pitching and when I wasn't pitching. And then last year, I played some outfield too. I played a little bit of first base. This year, I'm more first base. I haven't played any outfield yet, but I'm always ready if that time might come.
Hmm.
But I just mainly played center field, a lot of right field, and then this year, definitely a lot of first base. So I like playing the other positions. I love getting to hit, so that's
Yeah.
always pretty fun to do too.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Tell us a little bit about hitting, and are you contact, power, combination of both? What do you enjoy about it?
Um, I just enjoy just that competitive aspect because as a pitcher, I can kind of predict a little bit, like, hey, this is what I would do. So that I feel like that gives me a little bit of an advantage. But I just like hitting because it's kind of more laid back a little bit, and you can just go out and have fun. And that's really what I like about baseball. But I think I see myself as more like in between a power and a contact guy because I can hit some home runs sometimes, but definitely hit a lot of singles and a lot of doubles too. So definitely not that 100% power, kind of like Barry Bonds guy.
Uh-huh.
Just more contact mixed in there too.
Yeah, very good. Well, I had forgot to include those in on the questions, but that's something I did want to know. So thanks for answering that.
Yeah, no problem.
Dude, I'm telling you, this kid is primed and ready to answer whatever questions
I
we throw
know.
at him.
We
So
can
if any,
we can
I
throw
was
the
gonna say,
gecko on the we can throw the gecko on the shoulder at him. We can, ask questions about beards. I mean, he's prepared. Man.
dude, we're trying to throw him off, but he's solid. So we always want to throw it out there. If anyone's watching, if you have a comment you want to say about Will or a question you want answered, go ahead and throw that out there. He is here and ready to go. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep rolling on. Um, in your article, you mentioned that you broke a school record. I want to talk about that. 19 strikeouts in a single game. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, that is right.
Oh my goodness. How how difficult was that? How did you pull that off?
I mean, the team we were playing that day was very good. They're notoriously good at putting the bat on ball and putting a lot of balls in play. So I knew as our defense was going to have to step up that day and play their best. I knew I was going to have my best stuff and have all my pitches. So just to be able to have that many strikeouts was pretty impressive to me. Though what was more impressive was how I was able to stay in the game for that long and keep my pitch count low enough to where I was able to stay under that 105, which is the limit for juniors and seniors. And just the ability to stay in the game that long was really impressive to me. And then the strikeouts, I guess I didn't get. My defense was there to back me up, which is just another awesome thing to see.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna have to follow up with that so people have a true understanding of this accomplishment. Will, how many innings do you guys play in a game?
Usually we play 7.
Yeah, folks, that's 21 possible outs, and there were 19 strikeouts. So that meant that there were two that did not strike out. That is phenomenal. That's awesome. Just wanted to put that in perspective.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Wow. Good
That
stuff.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
that was a pretty great night overall. So that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we'll get to what you enjoy eating after a great celebration like that, but we'll do that a little bit later.
All
Yeah.
right.
Uh, so changing gears here, and you're going to Mizzou. What do
hmm
you plan on studying at Mizzou?
Right now, I'm thinking going into kinesiology, which is just the study of how the body moves. So, like, I could be a physical therapist, or I think
Okay.
there's a job called kinesiologist. But the reason I want to study that is just to get to know how my body moves and why I'm able to do the things that I can. And then I can use the stuff I learn in class to apply that to my baseball career and say, hey, if I do this better, I'll be able to throw harder, or be able to make this pitch move more. So I think that's definitely why I want to study it. And then if baseball once it does come to an end, I can always be working with athletes, being like a physical therapist, or I can just work with athletes on getting them back on their feet, no matter what sport they play, which has always been pretty big dream of mine.
Very cool. Um, and one question I realized I forgot to ask about current Blair Oaks, what's left for you to accomplish this year as a senior in high school?
Yeah, so definitely just as a baseball team as a whole is getting to districts and then getting to that final game of districts and winning that. Then after that, our main goal the whole year has always been to win state. That's the goal for any team. So be able to win state in my final year is going to be one of the biggest accomplishments I think us as a team could accomplish. And then for our 5 seniors, it'd be a great way to go out after playing together for so many years. So definitely just that state championship game is what we're shooting for.
Now, why don't you go ahead and expand on a little bit? I mean, you guys play a really tough schedule getting prepared for that. Tell us a little bit about that schedule and why you guys play such a hard one.
Yeah, so I mean, our district is really tough this year. We have the state championship in class, or state championship team in class 4 last year in Southern Boone, and then the class 3 state championships in Tolton. So those 2 teams right there are just really, really good. And then we have Fatima, who's another great team. And then we have Fulton, who is very dangerous if they're on. So just to be able to have that district, and then the schedule we have leading up to that, we feel like it prepares us because we know, hey, we go out and play a bunch of class 5 and class 6 teams. So just to have that challenge year round, definitely I feel like it prepares us and our team as a whole to be able to play in that tough district schedule and then hopefully go further into the playoffs after that too.
Mm-hmm. Now, coaches really, really harp on fundamentals. Getting that consistency, doing the little things right every day. For
Mm-hmm.
you as a pitcher, what are some of those things involved for you?
Yeah, so I mean, the day I do actually pitch in the game, that's when kind of my mind clears and I just let my body do what I've been practicing for. So in between my starts, I usually have 6, 7 days. So I'll do a bunch of mound work just to get my mechanics and how I'm moving feeling right. And then obviously I'll do a bunch of throwing just to keep my arm up. So I'm not taking a bunch of time off. And then those little things like kind of help prepare me to just kind of go off muscle memory when I do pitch because I've tried in the past just thinking, hey, I need to do this with my legs or do this with my arm while I'm actually pitching, and that usually never helps. So just to have the ability to go out and work off muscle memory definitely helps me get that advantage over, I guess, the other team, and then just be able to play to the best of my ability that day.
I think that's pretty incredible. I can see why that consistency, doing that with your body, building that muscle memory can be so powerful. So I think that's
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool. Going back to Mizzou, what are you doing to prepare for the next level? So I know you still have to finish your season with Blair Oaks. So when that gets done, I mean, or are they already having you do stuff now, even before you're done with the season?
No, they're not having me do anything right
Okay.
now anyway. I'm not sure if it's legal or not, but I think they're just letting all of us in my kind of recruiting class just focus on finishing out our senior year strong and being
Yeah.
able to compete to the best of our ability. But
Cool.
I think what I need to do as I kind of go into Mizzou and then finish out my senior year is definitely just kind of grow as a person and as a player. Because I know when I get up there, Coach Meinhold, who's a pitching coach, and then Coach Beezer are definitely going to help me improve as a player and as a pitcher, and then definitely improve as a person overall, as that maturity wise, and then as that still being that humble, hardworking guy. So I think definitely those are the key factors that I've got to remember as I go this summer into Mizzou.
Good. Good. Do you have like any workouts and things you have to start doing this summer before you get down there in the fall?
Yeah, so I'll go to Mizzou. I think it's July 3rd or 4th.
Okay.
and I had to take a summer class, I guess, over that summer. So I get a couple of my credit hours knocked off already. And
Nice.
then at that time, they're going to have us kind of just get used to the campus and how being a student athlete works. And then we work with the strength coach all summer. We don't actually play any games or have any like real practices, but we do kind of all of their strength and conditioning stuff. And then that just gets us ready for the fall, where we'll have a bunch of practices and then do a bunch of inter squad scrimmages. And I think we can play 3 games against outside competition.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
that summer, I feel is just huge for all of us in getting ready as a student athlete and kind of what all of that kind of, I guess, career takes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Outstanding.
sure. I mean, a lot of people, I can count we look at those big time college athletes and we're like, oh, they have it so easy. He's going to have the easiest summer ever. And you're like, no, I'm starting school in July. I have to knock
Yeah.
out college credit hours in the summer. I'm not taking a break. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it definitely will be. And then just to be able to get to experience campus without thousands of people on, it's definitely going
Yeah.
to be pretty cool to see too.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's an awesome opportunity.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Dad,
Definitely.
before we go into the speed round, you got any more questions for
Oh,
Will?
yeah. Well, I've got something I'm going to say before. I want you guys to get ready. I want you to go ahead and do some stretching, get some warm ups real quick while I do a quick little announcement. I'll be right back. But I just want you guys to I want you to be ready when I come back. Okay, Jay,
Okay.
yeah, you can have
All
your theme
right.
song ready, all that kind of stuff. So
Okay.
I'll be right back. All right. Hey, we've got great student athletes that we feature on the program here, like Will Libbert. So excited to have him on here tonight. But one of the things I wanted to start doing is also focus on some of our coaches that we have right here in mid Missouri. And I want to just share with you real quick. We have Reed Randolph, and he is our coach of the issue, which is sponsored by Big Whiskeys. And they're a great sponsor. They want to make sure that we get as much recognition out as we possibly can for people that do hard work in the schools, teaching our student athletes everything that they possibly can to help prepare them for the present as well as the future. And that's the same thing that happens out there at Big Whiskeys. They work really hard, making sure that they prepare your food so that you will get out there and have an enjoyable meal with others and just have a great time while you're there. All right, I think these guys are probably ready now for the speed round. I mean, I don't know how much more prepared I can get them, but I just gave them enough time, and hopefully Jay's limbered up. All right, Jay, you okay? You ready?
Dad, no, all you did was make me so hungry thinking about big whiskeys. Oh my goodness. Oh, all right, let's wrap this up. We're gonna all
Wrap it
go
up.
to big whiskeys after this. This is amazing. Let's get going. Man, I'm hungry. All right. So I love the speed round. The speed round is where we can just ask you some fun questions and get to know you a little bit more. And I know our viewers love it. Speaking of food, Will, question number one out of the gate. I have to know, what is your go to snack or meal after a big game? You pitched the 19 strikeout school record. You worked up an appetite. What are you feeding yourself?
So I know, like after high school games anyway, I can't just go home and kind of get this meal. But I think definitely kind of some steak. Maybe the filet mignon is always good, but
Oh,
definitely steak. I like some corn on the cob, and then definitely macaroni. That would be the go-to meal if I could make that every night of the week.
oh man,
Jay,
you
are
are.
you Jay? Are you all right? I mean, man.
I think we just became best friends. He is speaking my love language. People ask what my favorite. Like I'm a carnivore at heart. Like I eat meat. I'm a meat guy. So, I'll entertain some sides, but I just care about the meat. So filet mignon. Oh boy, brother, you're talking.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. All right, question two here. If you could teleport to anywhere in the world, where would you go right now?
Um, I think I'd go probably somewhere in California, just because it's been a little bit cold over here lately. in Missouri, so I think definitely playing baseball in some warmer weather would be pretty awesome right now.
There you go. There you go. Um, Finish this phrase for me. When I dance, I look like.
I don't
Well,
know. Look like a not very good dancer, I guess.
Oh, come on. I'm sure you got the dance moves. Come on, Will.
I'm not too big of a dancer. I mean, school dances, I kind of stand over there talking to some friends, don't go out in the middle and dance a whole bunch.
All
I
right.
got you. I got you. All right. What's your least favorite chore?
Um, I would say having hand washing the dishes because I know everything can't go in the dishwasher, but I just wish it could because I don't know, just it takes a little bit if you have a bunch, and then I always get water on my shirt, so I have to change my
Well,
shirt, and that's always no fun. But definitely washing dishes by hand.
All right. So
okay.
from my career way back at Golden Corral, you need one of those industrial dishwashers where you throw it on a tray, slide it through there, pull the lever down, boom, done. That's what you need right
That
there, my man.
that would be pretty
Dude,
awesome. Yeah.
dude, Dad, you're not wrong. I wish every house had that. Those things are awesome. All right. Here's a question for you. Uh, I know you like baseball over football, but do you prefer the competition in football where it's one game a week, or do you like the competition in baseball where you have multiple games a week?
I mean, I definitely do like baseball a lot, but over my career playing football, I don't think anything beats the Friday night lights and coming out there in front of that huge crowd. It's just probably one of the best sports experiences anyone can have. And I think
Yeah,
if baseball could be like that every game, I would just love it that much more.
yeah,
There you
that's
go,
awesome.
Blair Oaks fans. Make sure you get out there and support your local baseball team right there in Wardsville,
Boom.
as well as the softball team.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That would make their day.
Oh man, that'd be awesome. Um, all right. So if you had to strike me out, if I'm stepping up to the plate, big Mr. Big Beard, giving you the stink eye while I'm standing there with my bat, what pitches you throwing? Come on, boy, bring it.
Um, so I know you play some slow pitch softball now, so I wouldn't throw one of those. So I think I'd definitely just stick with the fastball and hope it was good enough that day to get it past you 3 times. But
All right.
definitely not the big slow pitch.
Okay, Will,
Okay.
I'm gonna just give you some advice real quick that I know would just take care of everything. Play a little chin music when it's right up underneath there, and then right after that, throw him 3 straight curveballs. Done deal.
Done deal.
Yeah, that
If
would
he has
definitely work too.
a 90-mile-an-hour fastball come flying up by him up there, he's gonna be backing up on those curveballs.
Oh yeah, I'd
Trim
imagine.
trim the old beard. Yep, that'll do it. That'll do
Oh yeah.
it. Dad, you're sick, just so we're clear. You're a sick man.
That's what
In
I would.
basketball,
That's what I would do. I just
I
don't have a
get it.
90-mile-an-hour fastball. That's it.
Yeah, and in basketball, you always hack a shack too. You gotta foul me and scare me away from the basket. I'm just
Yeah,
saying, you're a
that's
sick man.
you got fouls to use.
All right, I'm on my last question, and this is more for wisdom. We want to hear wisdom from you. What
Okay.
ad, what advice or piece of wisdom do you wish you could have learned sooner in life?
I would say just from a sports standpoint is kind of controlling my emotions because when I was younger, I wasn't terrible at it, but I definitely wasn't the best. I definitely show if I was frustrated, like you would know if I was having a bad game. So I've learned that over the years to where now that I know if I'm having a bad game, it's just still a game. You don't want anyone to know. Like you want them to pull up to the field and say, "Oh, he's just having another day," or you don't
Yep.
want one in the stands to say, "Hey, this kid's frustrated that day." So I think if I knew that from a younger age, it would definitely help me have matured faster and definitely help me kind of get like that better. I don't know. It would just help me play better too because when you're having fun, you always play better. But if you're thinking about, oh, I struck out last at bat, or I gave up a couple hits, you're not
Yeah.
going to be as loose as you should be, and you're not going to be able to play the best of your ability, which is always the most important thing.
Mhm. Very
That's
good.
great advice. That's great advice. So that's my end of the speed round. Dad, I'm sure you've got some questions,
I've
but
got a couple.
if
I've got a couple.
if anyone's watching and listening, if you want to throw out a comment about Will or a question, bring it on. We've been having a great interview so far, and we're finishing it up in the speed round. And he is knocking it out of the park. Just a little baseball. Just a little
Little
baseball.
baseball. Little baseball. And he's
Throw
been
that in.
throwing Jay a little chin music. That's what we got going on here.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Will, who is your favorite professional baseball team?
I'd say definitely the St. Louis Cardinals, but I'm also a little bit of a Royals fan because my dad's side of the family, they're big Royals fans. My mom's side, specifically her dad's, is one of the biggest Cardinal fans you'll ever meet.
Hmm.
So I'm more on the Cardinal side, but I definitely like watching both of them too.
I am exactly the same way. Grew up a Royals fan, then we moved this way, then I became a Cardinals fan, and then it was fun to see the Royals win the World Series, and during that
Oh,
little
yeah.
period
Oh,
they had, and then of course now they're back to where they were before, and that's no fun. And then the sad thing is the Cardinals are there right now too. They're not doing so hot. So I was like, man,
Yeah,
come
I'm
on.
hoping they turn it around a little bit, and I think they
Yeah.
will.
Yeah, I
Definitely
think they
have
will
the
too.
talent to do so.
Yeah. So who's your favorite
Yeah,
baseball player? Go ahead, Jay.
well, I was going to say, I'm thinking, 2024 draft, 2025 draft, they pick up Will Libbert. Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. Yep.
Oh, yeah. They'll be on
That,
the right track.
That's
that
Just
would
sounds
be
throwing
good.
that
pretty
out there.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
Very good. All right. So who's your favorite baseball player of all time?
I would definitely say Max Scherzer, who he's a pitcher for the Mets now, but
Yeah.
just I always liked watching him, and he's the biggest competitor you'll ever meet. And like you just know when he's out on the mound, he's gonna be hard to beat that day. And I've always liked to kind of copy his competitiveness, and I've kind of used that to help get me to where I'm at today because I think that's one of the best things you can have is just being competitive, no matter what athletic ability you have. If you're competitive, you're going to be hard to beat no matter what sport you're playing.
Yeah. And he happened to play where in college?
He did go to Mizzou,
That's right.
so
Yep. Absolutely.
that's also pretty cool to see.
Yeah. We had a couple of years ago, we had Ozzie Smith came on the program, and he was like my role model growing up. I loved watching Ozzie Smith play shortstop, and I always tried to be like that. But when I dove for a ball, and I couldn't get up like he could and throw it. I just kind of rolled or stuck there, so we just left it that way. All right. So I got just a couple more. When you get on the mound, what Marvel superhero do you best represent?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I don't really know my Marvel superheroes too
All right.
well,
What
but
about DC?
I don't know the difference between them. But
Okay.
I'm thinking I would like to be a Superman. I think he's Marvel, but
DC.
No, he's
definitely.
DC. He's DC. DC.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
well, definitely Superman then,
All right.
Cool.
because I mean, he's a big guy, and I always wanted to be a big guy like that. So
Yeah.
definitely
Absolutely.
him.
Very
All
cool.
right. Last thing, what do you want to say to your mom and dad for everything that they've done for you?
Just one of the biggest thank yous probably ever, because from a young age they just always told me to do the right things. They always led me down the right path, and without them kind of showing me that support and always bringing me to games and always taking me home and always putting food on the table, I would be nowhere close to where I'm at today. So I just probably the biggest thank you ever is definitely what they need to hear. So I
Yeah.
think that would be pretty cool.
Well, from what we know, they've done a fantastic job. You're a very fine young man, and we're looking forward to seeing what's going to be taking place the rest of this year and on into your career. And
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
And just remember, if Jay goes to call you when you're up with the Cardinals and he wants a signed autograph, just remember he had you on the program, okay?
He did. Definitely give you one too.
All right.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's awesome. Well, hey, Will, if you will hold on with us, we're going to close out the program real quick, and then we'll meet with you right after we close down. But thank you so much for joining us. You've done an outstanding job.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me on the show. It was a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. And we'll look forward to having you again, too. Hopefully when you're up at Mizzou, we'll try to get in contact with you then.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thank you. We'll be right with you in just a moment.
Sounds good.
All right. Wow, that was an awesome interview.
Oh man, that was super awesome. I'm telling you, if you joined us later in the program and you want to rewatch this, we will have this episode up on YouTube. You need to be paying attention to Mr. Wil Libbert. He is going to have an awesome career at Mizzou, and we can't wait to follow him and follow along. And I'll be pretty excited when he gets drafted too.
That's right.
That is one awesome young man. So,
Yes.
anyways, if you want us to keep bringing on awesome people right here in mid-Missouri, like Wil Libbert, these awesome student athletes, you guys know what you have to do. Like our program, subscribe to it, share it with your friends, tell them what you're watching, and then join us with comments just like Cotton did. And we've got Lewis right here. Kirk, I've seen you dive and get up a few times. I have too, and Kirk was one of the best shortstops I'd ever seen when I played on the softball field.
But did I get up with the ball? I mean, I got up, but I get up with the ball.
That was always the question mark. Oh, of
Right.
course you did. Anyways, we just love coming on the program with you. We are here every Monday at 7 p.m. We are One Nation, a Sports Locker magazine extra, and we love hanging out with you guys. So join us every week, Monday at 7 p.m., and we will keep bringing you guys great guests like we had tonight, Mr. Wil Libbert. Hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next Monday. God bless.
God bless. See you next week.